Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video about semester at sea, and this one is another one about money and saving money on the trip, because that seems to be the thing that most people are most curious about and most concerned about, because it does cost a lot, but there are ways to make it cheaper. So today we're going to be talking about scholarships and basically which ones you can get, what you need to qualify for each one, and all of that information so you can apply for as many as possible and try to make your voyage a little bit cheaper. And this is all information that you can probably find yourself as well, but it seems like a lot of people are requesting for me to talk about it because they like hearing someone talk about it instead of reading it and understand it better that way, which is totally fine by me. Like, that's why we're doing it right now. So I'm going to take you through all of the scholarship options for a semester at sea, and I recommend you get like your phone or a piece of paper or something, and as I'm saying them, like write down which ones you know for sure you can apply for, so then after the video you can go and think about it more or save it for later when you actually apply to your voyage. But just like keep a list of which ones apply to you. Okay, so the first thing to know about these scholarships is that 60% of students on the ship receive financial aid. And I've mentioned before that like to get aid you have to qualify for aid, and that has confused some people, especially people that are not from the US don't really know what I'm talking about when I say that. But when you go to college in the US, you usually fill out a form called a FAFSA, which stands for Free Application for Student Federal Aid. And this basically looks at your family's tax information from the last couple of years, so you can send that to the ship as like proof that you need aid, or you can also upload tax returns from last year's and something called like a student aid report. So those are all the options. I think any of them work, and you'll know more about those when you're actually applied for the voyage and once you're like signed in and all of that. But just generally the way that you prove that you need aid is through your family's tax information. They also look at EFC, which is estimated family contribution. So if you're paying for your own voyage completely on your own, then you'll probably receive more in aid even if your parents have a higher income, since you don't have a high income and you're paying for all of it yourself. So that is another thing you'll probably be asked to fill out, the EFC, estimated family contribution. And then for international students, instead of a FAFSA, because you don't really fill those out, you just submit your parents' income information, and that's in lieu of a FAFSA form. That's all you need to know about that for right now. Let's get into the scholarship stuff. Okay, so with these scholarships, a lot of them have a range of values you can get, so like from $250 to $10,000, like a range within the scholarship that you'll be awarded depending on like your application and how all that goes. And then also there are some that are only available in spring and some that are only available in fall, but if that's important I will say that, but if it's not, just assume that they're available for both of them. So the first type of scholarship that you can get is called a need-based grant, and this applies directly to what I was just talking about, like your tax information and your family income and your EFC, your estimated family contribution. And the range for this is $250 to $10,000. And all students are eligible for this, and it's not based on like an application really, it's based on the numbers, which is good to know. It's like an objective thing of if you need money, it's based on how much you're making and how much you yourself are going to be paying for the voyage. Another scholarship that all students are eligible for is the merit-based scholarship, and for this you need to have a GPA of 3.0 or above, and merit-based means like how well you do in school basically, so your grades, your activities, and what you're going to bring to the ship, and kind of like how well they think you're going to do. So if you have like all A's at your home college, your home university, and then you apply for this and they see that you have all A's so far, then they're probably going to want to accept you because they know that you'll be successful in their school programs and not just someone who's going to like party all the time. So this is based off your grades and your activities, and you can get from $250 to $2,500 for this scholarship. And the range for this is determined probably on your GPA, so if it's like 4.0, you'll probably get a higher number than someone who has 3.0, but within anywhere in that range you can apply. And for international students, you can apply for this one as well. This is open to all students, but I know you don't have like a 3.0 or 4.0 GPA range, but the equivalent, I'm sure you can transfer and they can look at that as a way to give you this money as well. The next scholarship that is available for you guys and for anyone on the voyage is a student assistant grant, and this is basically working on the ship part-time, 2 hours per day, and you get $4,000 for this. And there's tons of different jobs. I've made a whole video about it, which I will link down below and right here so you can actually watch it, because I go through all of the different options there and basically talk about how competitive each one is and like how likely you are to actually get those jobs, because you can only apply to one, I think, maybe two. I think it's one. I think you can only apply to one, so you want to apply the one you think you're best suited for, so you have a higher higher chance of actually getting that $4,000 because that's really nice and it's available to anyone. And then the next scholarship that is available to anyone is an Alumni Support Scholarship. And these are paid for by alumni, not by the Institute for Shipboard Education. So there's a ton of different questions, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. I think I wrote some stuff about like which countries are you looking forward to most, and like that sort of question, and then alumni actually read those responses and give out money. So that's a really cool way that people are giving back. Once you're an alumni from the ship, you can help other students go on who aren't as fortunate or don't have as much money so that they can actually afford it, which is really cool. And the range for this is $500 to $10,000. But for this, you need a 3.0 GPA or above, and you're expected to correspond with the alumni if they choose you. So basically saying like, thank you, and they will probably be reaching out to you and talking to you more and just talking about like if you're excited for the voyage and all that stuff. So it's more like a gift that they're giving so that they can like reach out to people, see who they're impacting directly, and actually help real students that they can communicate with. And then one more scholarship that all students are eligible for is called the Impact Cohort. And with this, there's more that you actually have to do on the ship, if that makes sense. It's not just like you're given money, but you actually have to participate in some things. But in some country that you go to, you'll be on a field program with this group of people who also won this scholarship, and you'll take a 1-credit seminar and have the opportunity to have an internship after the voyage ends, which is pretty cool as well. So it's basically like an application for the scholarship and for the internship later. And then top applicants will also receive $3,500 towards voyage program fees. So it's less clear than the other scholarships and you have to do more, but it seems really cool and really impactful because I know they work with small businesses and they all get really close as like their group and cohort, and they talk about like supporting women and supporting small businesses. So it is really cool, and I think you may as well apply for it because it saves you some money, it gets you a free field program, and you get to meet some really cool people and do impactful things. So now let's get into some scholarships that are not available for all students, but they might still be applicable to you, so you should keep watching just in case. And all of these scholarships probably have their own questions to fill out and like responses you'll have to write, so keep that in mind. You might be writing a lot of like short little essay prompts and responses to actually get these scholarships, so be sure to give yourself enough time once you're accepted into your voyage to actually do all this work. But the first scholarship I'm going to talk about is an HBCU scholarship, so a historically Black college or university or predominantly Black institution. So if you are a student attending one of those, you are eligible to receive $10,000 in scholarships from the ship, which is a lot for just going to one of those colleges. So definitely do not miss out on that opportunity, and there is a list defined by the U.S. Department of Education of all those colleges, just so you can check to see if yours is on the list. And in a similar vein, there's also the HACU Scholarship, which is the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities. So if you go to one of those, which you can also find a list of all of those on the Semester at Sea website or just by searching it, then you can also win $10,000. So check on that as well. There is then the MSI Scholarship, which is minority serving institutions, and you can get $5,000 for attending one of these and applying for it. And this is available for fall and spring, just like all of these have been so far. But for this one, it's a bit more broad, and you can attend an Alaska Native or Native Hawaiian serving institution, a Hispanic serving institution, historically Black colleges, predominantly Black institutions, and more. And then if you are not a student in the United States at college, this next one's for you. It's an International Student Advancement Award, and this gives you $3,500 up to $10,000 based on your application, based on who's reading it. And this is for students who are enrolled in a university outside of the United States. So this is also a really cool way that other people from not the United States can afford this opportunity as well. And similarly, there's also the Davis UWC Scholarship, which brings a lot of international students to the US to study there for colleges and universities. So this is if you're an international student that is studying in the US for college. And through this scholarship, you can get your whole tuition paid for. So if this applies to you, you should definitely apply. So it can be full or partial tuition depending on your application again. But this is the scholarship that gives you the most amount of money and basically pays for your whole voyage, and it's usually like, I think it was 15 or 16 people on my voyage, maybe up to 20 that received this, which is very, very generous of the people who give away this scholarship. And then, okay, this one is also open to all students. I may have forgot about this one earlier, but this one is the Inclusive Engagement Scholarship, and it gives you $5,000 plus money for your flights, which is actually nice. None of the other scholarships do that, but that's pretty nice because you have to fly to wherever the ship is going or leaving from or coming back to, all of that. So that's nice. And preference will be given to students from underrepresented identities, so race or ethnic minorities, students with disabilities, first generation, students at college or low-income students, LGBTQIA+ students, or students from a religious minority or veterans, any of those can apply to this scholarship, so that fits a wide range of people. And then one more scholarship available if you are majoring in journalism, communications, or English or a related field is the Global Journalism and Integrated Communications Fellowship, and you can get $3,500 for this. So that is cool if you are in a communications major or something like that. English, I'm an English major, pretty fun, yay. And then I will go through these next four pretty quickly because they're only available for one of the semesters. So this first one is only available in spring and is the CY Tung Scholarship. And this is if you are enrolled in Chinese studies if you're a US student, or enrolled in American Studies if you're a Chinese student, and this can be $25,000. And that is only available in the spring. And then another one that is only available in spring is Tutu Ubuntu Scholarship. And this must be an undergraduate student that has graduated from a high school located in an African country, and this is $30,000. And then two that are only available in the fall are the Tung Legacy Scholarship, which gives you $10,000, available to the children or grandchildren of a SAS alumni, which is so cute. And that one involves demonstrated financial aid and a 3.0 GPA or higher. And then also only available in the fall is the CMI Sunstone Scholarship, and this one is given to students whose parents are employed by CMI or Sunstone. So that wraps up the general list of scholarships you can apply for. And now I'm just going to read you a list of schools or institutions that gives grants and scholarships for going on semester at sea. So if your school's on this, you are also very lucky. So I'm going to go through this list pretty quickly. There's like 10 or 15 schools or something, and they range from giving you $250 to $10,000, I think, maybe more. No, I think $10,000 is the maximum. But I'll just read these lists of schools for you really quickly, and the first one is California Polytechnic State University, Chapman University, Colorado State University, Morehouse College, University of California, Irvine, UC San Diego, UC Boulder, University of Hawaii, University of Virginia. And then these two are like societies. So if you are a part of the National Society of Collegiate Scholars, you can get $5,000 to $10,000, and if you are part of the Society of the Torch and Laurel, you can get $10,000 as well. So those are all more things you can apply to if you go to any of those colleges. And just a side note, I've been asked before if I will share how many scholarships I got and all of that stuff, and up until this point I have not, and I am still not going to because that does sort of reveal like my family's tax information, which I'm not going to do. But I am going to tell you that it is possible to decrease the price of your voyage by a lot, because I told you like a lot of those scholarships give you $10,000 off your voyage, and the voyage itself, I made a video about this too with like the total price of semester at sea. I think the lowest it could go was below $30,000 or maybe around $30,000. But with 3 of those $10,000 scholarships, which you could definitely potentially get if you have demonstrated financial aid, then your voyage would be paid for. So keep that in mind and apply to as many scholarships as you can. And I wish you the best of luck with getting the amount of money that you need. So that basically wraps up this video. That was a lot of information. I'm like hot from doing all that. And if you have any other videos you'd like to see me make, please leave those ideas in the comments down below. And also, I don't really use TikTok, but I'm thinking that maybe I should use TikTok a little bit and post some of my photos from my voyages in the past. So if you look over there, I might have some like reels of photos going by really quickly that you can look at, because I have like 1,000 plus, maybe like 2,000 photos from my voyage, which I couldn't share all of them on like social media like Instagram because people would get annoyed. But with TikTok, I can do like a really fast, like rapid fire version of my photos. So if you're interested in seeing that, or like breakdowns by country, or if you have really quick questions that you think would be beneficial for me to answer on TikTok, you can also leave those questions like in the comments of those videos of my photos, and I'll see what I can do. It could be a silly time with my friends not really knowing I have this YouTube channel, but also it could be really beneficial for you guys because then it'd be faster and I could answer questions like quickly. So keep that in mind. If you watched at this point, then you got that side piece of information, so lucky you. And just generally, thank you guys for watching. Good luck applying for all of your scholarships, and I will see you in my next video.